morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, Anne Marie.
Good morning. Got my girls singing the climb in here.
Yeah. Get those words out.
So appropriate for everything.
Okay. What am I doing? We are going to get started. Welcome, everybody. That would be logging on here to Diamond Zone. And let's go through. I'm just going to talk about this one because this is the one coming up. Okay. So, guys, tonight, you guys all know that obviously Jeremy has been doing a 3-day blitz, 72-hour blitz, 3 days in a row, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. HeloZoom.us. And so that replaced our opportunity presentation that we do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday yesterday. But just note today's call, HeloZoom.us at 6 o'clock Pacific time. But we will be back on track with our regularly scheduled business overviews tomorrow and, of course, Sunday. So please make sure that you're getting all your guests on these calls. And, of course, this Saturday we are so excited. Anybody you know out in the Southern California market, we're getting all geared up for this event. We have 3 presidents and above that will be there. Van and Tone, who are grand presidents, Christina, double president, and then, of course, Taylor Worry will be here this Saturday. So we have, we're going to go from 10 o'clock till 6 o'clock. Well, this says 10 to 5. 10 to 5, sorry. And social event to follow. So make sure, guys, get on the horn. You never know who you may have out here in Southern California. And just so you guys know, Orange County is right in the middle. It's an hour away from LA, and it's an hour away from San Diego. So it's right in the middle on the coast. So if you do a radius, okay, of 150 miles, which is what, 2.5 hour drive? I mean, you're covering about 15 million people. So make sure you know wherever you have people out in Southern California, don't hesitate to call them. It's $20 in advance, and that advance goes right up until tomorrow, and $25 at the door. Guests are free. So please make sure that you note all these different dates, and not to go into much detail, but we're starting our tour in 2 weeks after Ramacio's Clarity event in Sacramento. We're going to be in Chicago. We're going to be in Minnesota August 3rd through 5th. We'll be in Chicago August 8th, and we'll be in Orlando and Fort Myers August 10th and 12th. So those are the upcoming dates for everything that we are doing. And I know that everybody knows that we do the update call with Taylor Worry yesterday. So just to recap, guys, if you weren't on that call, customer service hours and operation will be from 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. These hours will ensure that all customer service representatives will be available. So they're making a big effort to reduce the time, okay, but have more people available to actually answer calls. So once again, things are starting to get better. Please note the email address change, customer service us@worldgn.com will be deactivated, and the U.S. office will no longer respond to emails. So that's starting August 1st. Starting on September 1st, we will add a callback function to our phone tree, which will allow you to skip waiting on hold and instead leave a number for us to call you back. So once again, just different things that they are doing with customer service. They have these raffle winners. These are just random winners, guys, giving away Helos and Helo LX band kits. Those are the winners from the U.S., from all different parts of the world. And what was the other note that they had? Our Chief Design Officer, Antonio DeRosa, will be featured on Networking Times. That's pretty cool. That's never been done before. Compliance training. Always use the income and product disclosure in your social media posts. A lot of people are posting on social media. So just make sure, guys, just include those 2 posts on everything that you're doing just for protection. It's something that you won't regret, that's for sure. Country comparison chart. That will be in our back office. What type of pay plan is in a particular country? What packages are available? That's going to be very, very helpful for everybody in the field. I can't tell you how many times, because we have people that come to me on a daily basis. I got somebody here. I got somebody there. Can we get a lower package here? Okay, what's the pay plan at this country? So that will be in your back office. That's pretty cool. And what's the last thing here? I got to shrink it, so I got to see. And then the Infolio, official launch date of the Infolio will be announced on the end of July. And of course, the 2- and 5-minute video everybody's been waiting for will be in the back office no later than next Friday, the 28th. So those are just my update call in 2 minutes. So with that, what do people have questions here? The video was awesome. Good. Okay. Yep. The new video they previewed yesterday was pretty cool. But guys, stay in tune with what's going on and be on those update calls that we do. I know Chad and Atita do them on Mondays, and then Taylor Worry is doing the ones on Wednesdays. So, kind of recapping. We have 5 days left in our 2-week pay cycle. So I know a lot of people are working very hard. I got some calls. I know Christy out in Minnesota, without a doubt, will be platinum this month. Got a lot of people climbing to regain their ranking. I mean, nothing more powerful than being a diamond and then requalifying diamond. So you're really never a rank until you requalify at that rank at least 3 times. So just remember, okay, when you requalify, it means you have an established base. And when you're climbing into the ranks, and sometimes it's much easier to get there, but it's hard to stay there. And we got Dawn Marie says she will be a diamond. That's awesome, Dawn Marie. No doubt about that. Okay, and that's the other thing, guys. You got to see yourself being there. But here's the other thing. Okay, and this is not to anybody in particular, because some people think I'm talking to them, when I say certain things, but it's not. It's just what comes in my mind. And that's this. You got to make sure, okay, you have the activity in order to achieve your rank. It's one thing to say it. It's a whole nother thing to really be honest with yourself and say, do I have the organization that will support me going to gold? Do I have the organization to support me to go to platinum or to diamond or to double diamond? And some of you have the organization to go president. But what you really have to do, and maybe some people have to go back and really listen to yesterday's call, right? How to drive volume, how to go out there and take your group, right? Your existing group, and really look at it, draw it out. Draw out all your frontline people. Draw out their frontline people. And then look down your organizational trees and find out who's my leader there. And when you find your leader, okay, you got to make sure those leaders are doing the right things. This is how you manage an organization. Okay, it's just like when I was at Bally's, when I was working for Bally Health Clubs, okay, I had 400 clubs. But do you think I talked to, 400 clubs? No, I had supervisors. I had supervisors that were responsible for 8 to 10 clubs each. And those supervisors who had 8 to 10 clubs, they didn't manage all the employees in the clubs. They managed the general managers. Because each club had a general manager. And each general manager had 2 managers and 2 assistants. Well, this is how you build your multi-level marketing business. It's the same thing, right? You got certain people, okay, that are just the worker bees. They're the spare time, part-time people. But then you got people that say, you know what, I want to be a diamond. And so you got to look and you got to make sure your people are doing those things we talked about yesterday, right? Getting people that welcome letter, right? Walking them through how to get their business off to a fast start. Because if you start to really do that, then you say to yourself, you know what? I have the foundation for me to go diamond. And remember, as you do that, you're still adding your new people. And if everybody just went through their organization and worked with those people just to help them get their first 2, okay, I can't tell you how many different rank promotions you will have. Now, it doesn't mean everybody's going to do it, but it's networking through your organization. Okay, now obviously I did this training yesterday, but I'm challenging everybody, okay, to go back sometimes and really listen, because the two presentations that we did this week, right, how to develop your organization and how to get people started, those are the things everybody really has to get really good at. Okay, it's development, and it really just goes back to what I said earlier, guys, and that is to know what you really got and understand that when you bring people into the business, whatever you say to that person, make sure you remember that conversation. In other words, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I said to the person, this was a 3-way call. I said to the person, he went through all the reasons why he's been hesitant to make his decision. And the biggest thing was time. It's always, that's a big one, right? We always know there's only 3 things that stops people. It's usually money, it's either time, or it's being uncomfortable with what their friends will think if they get involved in multi-level. Okay, those are usually the 3 objections. So I said, listen, what are you willing to do? This is how I get people to make a decision. What are you willing to do? I'm not telling him what he needs to do. I'm asking him what he's willing to do. And you know what he said? I'm willing to get that 2-minute video into as many people's hands as I can. He goes, but I'm hesitant on the follow-up. I'm hesitant on doing the presentations. Now, this is me, and everybody here can make their own decisions. If someone told you that, would you be their time on the follow-up? Would you be their time to help them with the presentations if they opened up their contact base to you? That's your decision. Okay, that's not Jeff's decision. Okay, I could tell you what my decision is, of course. Of course, but I have to also remember and note this, that I put myself out there to say, yes, if you do this, I will do that. It's all about how you bring people in. Don't be shocked when someone says this and you tell them that and they expect you to do it. Because I know the mentality, guys. I get it. I guarantee you, and I said this, I guarantee you if we start making money and you start making $2,500 a week, he goes, well, then I will put more time against it. Well, duh. Okay, it's getting the pot boiling at the bottom. But you just got to remember how you bring people into the business. Okay, just make sure. I want everybody to open up their contact base. What do you think we do? We fill the holes they can't fill. And if you're spare time part-time and you're sponsoring somebody who wants to be spare time part-time and they want to open up their contact base and you're not willing to do it, what do? You go upline. You go upline. You bring your upline into that conversation. Because I'm telling you, everybody out there would love people to open up their base. So that was just something that was in my head. Okay, and I just want to make sure all of us on this call, we will always do what we say we're going to do. This is how you build trust. This is how you build relationships. This is how you get people comfortable to open up their contact base to you. No one's going to open up their contact base if they're not comfortable with the systems that we have, right? So what is that system? Well, if you're the sponsor, you represent the system. And if you're keeping all your people very close to you and they don't know there's anything outside of what you tell them, okay, it's very limiting. I don't want my people to talk to anybody else. I don't want my people to know about Diamond Zone. I don't want my people to know about these opportunity presentations Jeremy's doing. I'm going to keep all my people, okay, knowing only what I want them to know. You are limiting yourself and you will never build an organization. Ever, 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 ever note it, and some people need to hear this loud and clear, okay? Because I don't hold anything back. If I know something works, I'm going to tell you. If I know something doesn't work, I'm going to tell you. Why? My interest is your success. And if I've been through something that I know doesn't work, why would I teach it? I will never do that to you. And I want you guys to understand, you got to let people know there's a big world out there in World Global Network. And you want people plugged into everything possible within our system. That's how you build it. That's how you're able to release people so they can leverage. How many times have you seen that? Leverage the system. Well, if the only system they see is what you're doing, it's limiting. Some people don't want to do some of the things you're teaching. So you're going to tell them that's the only way to do this business? No, of course not. Now, there's certain things that everybody's comfortable with. Everybody across the board is comfortable with sending out a 2-minute video. We know that. Okay, so what we have to get them to understand is that our system is here to help them succeed. So enough about that. Okay, there's my rant. I wasn't going to go there today, but I don't know what happens to me. All right, so guys, what I want to talk about today is really the essence of success. And the essence of success is to get through your fear and doubt. Everybody has it, okay? It's within us. It's not that it goes away. It's how you deal with it. I deal with fear and doubt every day. It just doesn't affect me as much as it did when I first made a change. But you got to know what fear really is. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I mean, we could spend 4 hours just on this. False evidence. It's what you manufacture in your brain. And usually what manufactures in your brain keeps you paralyzed from making any changes. And so just know that. It's knowing the answers to the test. It's knowing when fear creeps in, where fear comes from. But you got to know what we fear. In general, most people fear poverty. We fear rejection. Hello? We fear failure. We fear, here's a big one, exposure. Okay. Fear poverty, got it. But look at the next three. Fear rejection, fear failure. What is this business journey all about? What is any successful journey all about? Rejection and failure. Every successful person went through their fear and doubt of rejection and failure. Isn't this business, if you had to explain it, well, tell me about your business. A lot of rejection, a lot of failure. Want to join me? Isn't that what we do? Don't we get disappointed because of other people's decisions? We'll know where it's coming from. This is where I tell people, if you understand you're going to understand others. And how do I overcome rejection and failure? Okay, here we go again. I understand the way you feel. I get it. I totally understand. I know rejection was a big part of this business. And the more, here's what I found, John, the more rejection I had, the more success I received. So I didn't look at rejection as failure. I looked at rejection as I was taking the journey. If you're not getting rejection and you're not failing, now what's failure? Someone saying no to me? No, that's not failure. That's success. How do you turn failure into success? Identify failure as not failure. If you're taking the journey, it's an impossibility to fail. That's my mentality. Here's the failure. Receiving all the information, knowing what to do, and do nothing. That's failure. But you can't fail if you're getting rejected. It's an impossibility. Change that thought. Everybody, change it. Go out there and look forward to rejection. But understand where the rejection's coming from. It has nothing to do with you. I'm going to show you what it has to do with. And the more you understand about yourself, okay, this is the other big failure, exposure. Exposure to what? Maybe your laziness. Maybe your willingness not to change. That's exposure, but to who? It's to yourself. Don't you think the people around you understand why you are where you are? You know where the respect comes in? When they see you taking the necessary steps to better your quality of life. I've always said this. I don't respect anybody who accepts an opportunity and doesn't at least do it. I'd rather have tried and failed than never have tried. Right? And this is what we do. This is what we fear. Okay, but understand where this all comes from. It's the causes of fear. Okay, you know where it comes from? Things we have learned. I'll get to that in a second. Our imagination. It's amazing what we could create in our brain. You know, one of the things that we create, who will and who won't. We create this. And it's amazing how everybody on our list won't. You know why? It's an excuse not to talk to them. If you really made a list and never pre-qualified, okay, you would then have to call them. Well, that's work. Well, here comes exposure. I don't want to call. I don't want to text. I understand. I get it. Okay, causes of fear, doubt. Doubt in what? The system? How can you doubt the system? Watch this. Same company, same product, same compensation plan. Why do some people making $1.2 million a month and some people are afraid to pick up the phone? Well, I just told you, because they're afraid to pick up the phone. The people that are making the big money or achieving different ranks, forget about the big money, okay, are fearless. They've gotten past their fear. Okay, and we'll get to the other two in a second, okay? But understand where this comes from. Understand why a lot of us are where we are. Have you ever heard the saying, you're a product of your environment? And one of the keys to success in a lot of cases is you got to change your environment. You got to change the people you hang around with. And sometimes it's a very difficult decision because that's all you know. I'll tell you this, one of the biggest decisions I made, and this was just by accident, one of the best decisions I ever made is when I left my house at 19 years old. And I got into my car, okay, from Southern California, a 1970 Cougar, and I had a Sony Trinitron TV and my clothes, and I went to Chicago. Now, I love my family, don't get me wrong, okay? But everything I knew is what I have learned from them. Now, what did I learn? Okay, I learned a lot of great things, but I also learned, okay, that most of the people in my family were stuck. If I didn't get away from that, and that was just by chance, because I wasn't planning on leaving forever. I was going to go just because I wanted to spend 3 months in Chicago. because that's where I was born. And you know the story from there, right? I found my job at Bally's. Okay, I started to climb the corporate ladder. I met Lisa, but I got away from the things that all I knew. All I knew was all I knew. I didn't know there was a big world out there. I didn't know you could take control of your financial situation. I didn't know there was different ways of looking at things because we're a product of our environment, everybody. And that environment comes from our past, our parents, our teachers. Look what society teaches us. Then we wonder why we are the way we are, and we wonder why we think the way we think. We all know this is where it comes from. It's things that we have learned. Well, why do you think I do Diamond Zone every day? Okay, I want to embed other things into your brain. 24 years of experience is pretty valuable. Forget about who the messenger is. Whoever has experience, you should listen to them. Whoever it is. But I just want you to understand, you can change. You could change, but you got to trace it back. You ever done this? Okay, you start making decisions and you ask yourself, you stop yourself, go, where did that come from? Where did that thought process I just had come from? Trace it back. It's going to come from here. Look what society teaches us. Look what the news implants in our brain every day. Look what the advertisers plant in our brain. It's meant to keep us stuck in a lot of cases. I'm not saying in 100% of the cases, but in most cases, okay, it's to keep people in line. You got to think different. Wasn't that Steve Jobs? Okay, wasn't that his motto? Think different. Don't think the same. Don't be like everybody else. Think different. And let me help you with this one. Every single person on this call, you think different. Why? You made a change. You went against the grain. And do you understand something? That's why you're successful. I say find your little successes, and I say this a lot on these calls. You making the decision you made went against all the things you learned. Let me prove it to you. Okay? Did your teachers teach you how to be an entrepreneur? In most cases, no. Does society teach us to take responsibility? In most cases, no. Were your parents wealthy? In most cases, no. Okay, so you made a change against the grain. And that makes you successful. You gotta buy that. You gotta own that. You gotta look in the mirror after this call and you go, you know what? I did make a change. Now, let's take advantage of the decision I made. Our imagination. Our minds cannot distinguish between what we imagine and what is real. It's amazing how it all gets convoluted. And we create this false sense of reality. And this is what I want people to get away from. Ignorance, erroneous thinking, generalization, invalid comparisons, coming from poor sources of information. Does this sound familiar? Remember when you were a kid, what did your parents used to tell you? You could be whatever you want to be, Johnny. And Johnny wanted to be something different every day. Well, what happened to that advice when we grow up? Why is it you can't be whatever you want to be when you get to 20? No, I'm stuck now. This is what I am. This is what I do. I can't write. That's because you've never written. Right? I can't be an entrepreneur because you never embarked on being an entrepreneur. I can't get wealthy because you haven't chosen a way to become. It's real simple. I could have stayed with Bally's 500 years. I could never be wealthy. Bally's was not employing me to make me financially independent. So why would I ever think that way? You see what happens? It's based on the choices we've made. And let me tell you the choice you all made. You made a choice that can give you whatever you want out of life. But here's going to be your challenge. It's the training that I'm doing right now. It's called fear. It's the fear of what? What other people think. It's the fear of exposure. This is what keeps people stuck. Yes, you made your first decision, and that was to get involved. But now what you have to understand is, okay, you can't make generalizations. Okay, you've chosen a way to have whatever you want out of life. Now, here's the deal. You got to determine what that is. What do you want? What do you want? What was the movie? With I'm losing my train of thought. Damn it. Anyway, I see that scene in my head. What do you want? What do you want? Okay, this is what you got to ask yourself. You got to write that down, guys. Doubt. When doubt sets in, you're almost out of the business. Fear is powerful. It creates doubt. It creates a negative attitude. I'm not going to make those calls. I'm just going to hear no's. People are going to challenge me. Isn't it amazing what some people will send to you? You know what they're doing? They're trying to steal your dream. Did you know this about World Global Network? Did you know about that about World Global? Did you see this article? Did you see that article? Did you see their customer review? Did you la 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 la? They're trying to plant doubt. And if you're not sold on your vision and where you're going, they're going to pull you right back to the very thing you want to get away from. It's amazing how people challenge you. And some of the things that distributors that go, how would you handle this? They saw an article. Somebody wrote a negative article on Facebook. On what? I saw this negative comment about World on Facebook. They responded to somebody's promotion of World, and they said, I would never do it. They didn't get their refund. Well, how would you respond, Jeff? This is what you hear. People are trying to plant seeds. They're trying to see if you have a chink in your armor. Can you imagine any company? I love these questions. Why is this on there? Have you ever Googled any company? Google this. Complaints at Apple. Complaints from Walmart. Just Google this. Complaints for Morgan Stanley. And you'll see pages and pages and pages of complaints or of negative comments. Did that stop them from becoming billion-dollar companies? Well, Jeff, I just saw this thing and this person said they were on customer on hold for 45 minutes. How would you handle this? I'm making fun. Okay, because it's I'm not saying that it might not be an issue we have to overcome, but don't let it set doubt in your brain. If you do, you're going to find your excuse anyway. Don't use that Facebook post as your excuse on why you quit. Just be honest with you on yourself. I don't want to grow. This is too painful. This is not something I'm willing to do. I respect that more than trying to find out a reason why you should quit. Okay? It's going to limit your thoughts, guys. Because a lot of people, okay, here's another excuse people use and causes fear. Okay? My education. Why? My gosh, you talk about not being educated. Okay, I barely made it through high school. Sometimes I listen to myself after recording and go, I don't even have a vocabulary. But you know what? You can't deny I have passion. I don't care about all that. Who cares? I don't care what other people think. Makes no difference. Race. People use that sometimes. I'm this. I'm black. I'm white. I'm Asian. I'm Mexican. Who cares? My background, my appearance, my age, poor self-image. Okay, maybe this is something you have to work on. Okay, remember we always say you got to work harder on yourself than you do the business? Okay, I had a lot of things we had to overcome, but it didn't make a difference. So what? That's just your journey. Okay, personal consequences of fear. It'll cloud your thinking. It inhibits creativity, paralyzes growth, limits your opportunities, and a lot of times it contributes to poor health. Guys, consequences of fear. There's nothing more invigorating than to take a journey of personal development. Is it going to hurt like hell? It does. Is it going to challenge you to no end? But listen, okay, compared to what? That's my comeback. This is hard. Compared to what? What are you comparing it to? The job that you don't want to be at, that'll never get you to where you want to go? Just ask yourself when this creeps in, compared to what? What's the worst thing you hear here? No? And so I always say, okay, my best day at my worst day here is better than my best day in corporate America. My worst day here is better than my best day in corporate America. I always go back, compared to what? Okay, hindrance to success, reactive lifestyle. Whatever life hands me, I'm just gonna work through it, persevere through. Well, I'm gonna make less this year. It's okay. Yeah, it's good news is I still have my job. See the thinking? Well, we passed you up on this promotion. We gave it to somebody younger. Oh, that's all right. I'm happy I'm still here though. Thank you. Thank you. Life dictated by circumstances. Okay, well, this happened to me. I'll just persevere through it. Allowing outside influences to control your life. See, it's about taking control. And that's why I say to everybody on this call, you're different. At some point, you got through enough fear and doubt, because you still had it, to make a decision. But now, here comes honesty. And what I showed you yesterday was honesty. The numbers you have to run. The things you have to do and achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. So now that I know what I have to do, now who's it on? This is the personal development. And then doesn't mean fear goes away. Fear is always going to be there. But you know how to deal with it. Okay? Because we're training on it. Weakens your self-confidence. I mean, look at the guy on the screen. Affects relationships. Hinders ability to reach your full potential without self-confidence. Devastating to your self-worth, making you willing to settle for less. Let me help you with self-confidence. How do you get confidence? Having faith. How do you get faith? You got to believe. Believe in what? Believing in the very reason you made your decision. Uh-oh, he's going to say it again. He's not going to go one training without saying it. Your why. How can you have no self-confidence if you've made a decision to change and this is where you want to go? I'm confident in my why. And it has to be something within your desire that fuels it. And now I'm just on a journey to get there. Right? It's believing, it's seeing something before it happens. Do you think successful people have this ability? Can you imagine somebody driving through the desert and all of a sudden somebody saw Vegas? Other people saw a bunch of sand. They go, what? You're going to have the most entertaining venue in the world on the sand? They saw it first. They had a vision. Well, it's the same thing over here. Look at any successful athlete. What do they say? I saw myself as the MVP. I saw myself holding up the championship trophy. I practiced that shot over and over again, the winning shot. I saw it when they were playing in their broken down backyard hoop. Right? It's the same thing. What do you see? This is how you get past weakened self-confidence. I know where it comes from. It's how society and everybody else beat you up. But you know what? What's got to lift your confidence? Making a decision that most people will never make. To embark on something you never did. And to believe in people, okay, that you never believed in. Wow. Walking by faith. Okay, amazing. Conquer your fears. Can I show you how to conquer your fears? Okay, this is the key right here. How do you conquer your fears? Acknowledge them. Here's your homework. Acknowledge your fears. And this is going to tie into tomorrow. I want everybody that I'm going to unmute. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to tell us your name. You're going to tell us your background. Right? You're going to tell us why you're doing this. Why. I want to hear why. And I want you to acknowledge a fear or many fears. Because unless you're honest with yourself, then the fears control you. If you acknowledge them, there's no more control. That's what I want tomorrow to be on Diamond Zone. Watch, there'll be 4 people on tomorrow. We average 115. Tomorrow you'll have 4. No. Okay? No. Acknowledge your fears. Here's the thing. Be honest. I want people to hear. Everybody thinks they're on this journey alone. Everybody on this call thinks it's only me. It's not only you. I want you to be honest. I'm writing that down. Acknowledge. How do you spell that? Acknowledge your fears. Your fears. DZ, Diamond Zone. Okay, that's it. That's tomorrow's Diamond Zone. Okay, be honest. Put your fears in the correct perspective. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll put in correct perspective and where it comes from. Identify the source of your fears. We're not going to go that deep. I just want you to acknowledge them. What do you think keeps you stuck? This is how you get unstuck. People say, I'm fearful of this, I'm fearful of that, then you're fearful of it. But you got to break through at some point, right? Well, how do you break through? Acknowledge them. And then from there, what happens? You have a proactive approach to decisions, the big picture. This is the why, guys. You want to experience a sound mind? Have your why. Crystallize your thinking. The only way you could crystallize is to get through your fears and doubts. And I already told you, we all know where they've come from. So what? We've all have them. And I guarantee you we all have similar ones. But it doesn't make a difference. Set your thinking according to your potential perspective. Well, that goes back to your why, does it not? Challenge is change. I'm going to challenge you. Okay, that's what this is all about, challenging yourself. And unless you challenge yourself, you're not going to appreciate your rewards. You're not. You're not, because that's what you're going to talk about. I said this yesterday. You're going to talk about your challenges, not your rewards. You won't talk about becoming a diamond or a president. You're going to talk about the challenges you went through to get there. That's what you're going to acknowledge the most. You got to trust me on that one. Because that makes you now what? A leader. And when you sponsor somebody, you know what challenges they're going to go through. You can help them through it. That's multi-level. That's this business. You really think this business is about the widget? Do you really think this business is about the comp plan? It's about helping people challenge themselves. And you're there to reach down and take them through this journey. Why? Because you've been on it. And by the way, it's not that bad, you tell them. Oh, that happened to you. Let me tell you what happened to me. 10 times worse. Person goes, oh, this must not be that bad. Well, change is growth. Challenge is change, change is growth. Challenge is change, change is growth. I like that. Okay? Every time you're growing, every time you're doing something uncomfortable, okay, there's rewards at the end of that. It's just you got to keep going. And you got to keep going, and you got to keep going. 2 choices every day. Quit or keep going. That's it. Right? Only 2 choices we have. So, in closing, guys, remember, open mic Friday. Okay, I'm looking forward to this one. Okay? My name is Jeff Giamalva. Okay, my background is corporate America. Okay, I made a decision because I was sick and tired of working 14-hour days, never seeing my family. Okay, and I knew staying with that corporation would never get me to where I wanted to go. So I knew I had to make a change. My biggest fears are what? My biggest fears are rejection. My biggest fear was picking up the phone. My biggest fear was getting over my ego. Those are my fears. My biggest fear was caring what other people thought. My biggest fear was my failure when I had nobody else to blame because I was being responsible. There you go. Okay, so now what? Okay, what? Has anything changed? No. What's changed is I acknowledge my fears. Are they still there? Yes. Yes, but they don't affect me anymore. So anyway, guys, appreciate all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Thursday. And I look forward to talking to everybody tomorrow morning. Okay, see you guys. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Jeff.
you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Jeff.
guys.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great call,
No,
Jeff.
thank you.
Awesome.
No, thank you.